Why on earth does Big Sur need 35 gigabytes available to install? Hey everybody, as we approach the end of 2020, finally, it's been a great year for technology, and in particular, a lot of discussion recently has been focused on the iPhone 12 lineup. There's 4 different models: the mini, the regular 12, the 12 Pro, the 12 Pro Max. It's a little convoluted, but they've all been released now. They've gone through the early review cycle, and one of the main things that reviewers were harping on and people were criticizing of Apple is that all of the models, even the Pro models, have been stuck at 60 hertz, at least for this generation, which is a real bummer, as a lot of people were looking forward to like 120 hertz ProMotion iPhone, as was seen introduced on the 2018 iPad Pro. But I'm here to tell you that 60 hertz may not be the worst thing for the iPhone 12, and in fact, I have 5 reasons why 60 hertz makes sense for the whole iPhone 12 lineup. So the first reason is pretty obvious: it's delays. So in my notes here, I know that the actual Apple event announcing them was Tuesday, October the 13th. So that was pretty late, considering most of the Apple events are usually held for iPhones in September, like September 12th, 13th, something like that. And then availability began on Friday, October 23rd for the iPhone 12 and iPhone 12 Pro, and then the iPhone 12 mini and the 12 Pro Max were only released on November 13th. So these delays were significant, considering that we usually have all of the iPhones in the hands of reviewers by the end of September. So it's really a problem if they would have had to push it back even further in order to source and install 120 hertz or 90 hertz displays in some of these models. That might have pushed the release date back even further, which is not a sound business strategy for Apple and would have also upset customers looking to purchase a new device. Now, point number 2 is bound to be pretty controversial, but is there actually a difference? Like 60, 90, 120 hertz? Anyone know the difference? Because let me tell you, I just bought the OnePlus 7 Pro. I haven't shown this in a video yet. It has a 90 hertz refresh rate. This is OnePlus's flagship from last year. And let me tell you, this display on this phone looks amazing. But I noticed things more like fluid animations and extra RAM helping apps stay loaded in the background, and like stable performance due to the flagship chipset. The 90 hertzness isn't amazing to me. Now, let me tell you, I have some pretty bad eyes, most particularly this one. So, I'm not definitely the best judge. I've played most games in my life capped at 30 FPS, like last gen console players, like we relate to each other. But let me tell you, most people buying it would go, "Oh, it's so smooth," but they wouldn't actually fully realize the benefits of a high refresh rate, or some people wouldn't even notice. Which perfectly brings me to point number 3, which is that Apple can actually maintain this refresh rate for the entire life cycle. So we know phones generally, they tend to slow down over time. Let me tell you, I know my old phone was just like that. And a lot of Android manufacturers, they put out these 90, 120 hertz, 144 hertz displays, which is great. But the problem is, 3-4 years down the line, they're going to be slow. And that high refresh rate display isn't going to be making as much as a difference as when it was brand new, because software support gets dropped earlier on Android handsets. Whereas with Apple, their devices are supported for a long time. And they are smooth throughout the entire life cycle thanks to continuous iOS updates and optimization. So they can actually maintain the 60 hertz smooth 100% of the time throughout the entire life cycle of the phone. So that's actually not a bad thing to keep it consistent throughout the life cycle. Point number 4 has to do with priorities. So we know that a lot of people, especially tech enthusiasts, were looking forward to 120 hertz or some sort of high refresh rate on the new iPhones. But what a lot of people are overlooking is that it's hard to make so many changes in one product iteration. So the iPhone 12 had the new design, all the new specs, the new sizes, everything was different. So it would have been another thing on top of that to add in 120 hertz displays. But I think the most important thing that they did do, Apple in this case, is move all of the regular models, so the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 mini, to OLED panels. Okay, this is really important because last year, the year before that, the iPhone XR, the iPhone 11, they were using like 720p LCD panels, which were great for battery life, and a lot of people didn't mind them. But let me tell you, the move to OLED, I think a lot more people are going to notice, better contrast, better battery life if you actually use, dark mode or a black wallpaper, and generally just better viewing, media experiences, and gaming experiences because of that new display technology. I think that Apple, if they had the choice to go to 120 hertz or to go to OLED, I think OLED was definitely the way to go, and that, for all we know, is what they decided to do. So strong stuff there. And last point number 5 here is that even if Apple went for high refresh rate, 120 hertz, balls to the wall, it probably would have only ended up on the Pro models, the 12 Pro, the 12 Pro Max. So that's interesting to consider, considering that most people buy the regular ones, like the iPhone 12 and the iPhone 12 mini in this case, because those phones are cheaper, they have still great cameras, great performance, same design, a lot of the same features, Face ID, what have you. So by omitting 120 hertz, likely only from the Pro models, Apple has actually upset less people, but a very vocal group of people, which is why we're hearing so much about this. So I think that for them, it was a smart business decision to just kind of wait on that, and maybe we'll see it in the entire iPhone 13 lineup next year, assuming that's what it's called, instead of just in the Pro models, because by Apple omitting this, they haven't really let down everyone who bought an iPhone 12 model, but instead rather the enthusiasts who, in my opinion, are still getting a lot with this next generation, with the new design, the very improved cameras, especially on the 12 Pro Max, etc., etc. Well, there you have it. Thank you for watching this video on the whole 60 hertz situation on the iPhone 12 lineup. Talking about Apple products, it's always controversial, so hopefully, you agreed with some of my points. If you think you have some other points or disagree with some things I said, definitely I'll be hanging out in the comments down below. And assuming you are watching this video at the end of 2020, here is to a great 2021, where we will get high refresh rate and USB-C in the iPhone, hopefully. Anyway, thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe for more tutorials and tech analysis videos like this one. And you can also follow me on Twitter at CalGNU for updates in between my uploads every Tuesday.